three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody, to Teaching Crypto. Two-man show is back. This is AZcrypto with MrFOMO, and we're here for you with the latest in crypto, specifically Voyager. Please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that bell notification. We are growing strong, making our way, hopefully, towards 500 subs soon. So any way you could help, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. MrFOMO, we had a hearing today, and we don't know the conclusion here. That'll be determined tomorrow, very soon, in less than 44 hours. But let's cross our fingers. Arguments were made. It seems like from people's account they were able to hear the hearing. The UCC sounded prepared. Good to hear. Basically, before I turn it over to you, the government's trying to get a stay for 2 more weeks, and the Voyager lawyers are fighting. And if you don't know, basically, if the government gets a stay, well, then that delays this. And then we don't know how long it's going to take for this thing to conclude. But if we can avoid that stay, we can finally, hopefully, put an end to this and start the process of getting our funds. So the Department of Justice wants a 2-week stay. The UCC and the lawyers are arguing against it. We should have a decision tomorrow. If the judge says no more stay, then you will probably see some funds, some crypto in your Binance account very soon in April. And then remember, April 5th is the day for the mediation to be over with FTX, and the rest of it recovery will be in cash. So, MrFOMO, let's hope that we are actually towards the end. Every time we think we're towards the end, another hurdle pops up.
Yeah, and if the government gets their stay, you can kiss 2 weeks goodbye. It's going to be more than 2 weeks. There's always some kind of delay that ends up coming into these things. So, you know, if the government gets their stay tomorrow, which we hope they don't, we'll be watching to make sure that they don't. But if they do, then you can count on it being at least 4 more weeks before anything's resolved. But hopefully we get the judge was swayed by the arguments of the UCC and Voyager today. It sounded like they had their ducks in a row. It's about time. You know, they haven't really had their ducks in a row since the beginning of this process. So it's nice to see them battling to get this thing done. It does make you wonder why they're battling to get this thing done, though. Some of the objections and some of the things that the concerns that were raised in the appeals are very real concerns. You know, if you're one of the people affected by those concerns, and you know, we've talked before at length about how the national security concerns aren't related to CZ.
Well, but remember though that this is all bogus because they're talking about wanting to go after people based on the fact that these cryptocurrencies could be securities. And the judge has said, listen, you guys haven't ruled on this. You can't enforce laws that haven't been established. That's what the stay is about.
Right. So that makes no sense.
But the whole thing makes no sense. So
that right there to me is nothing more than a stalling tactic, because like the judge said, Wiles said before, you know, that they can't just freeze this forever in order to decide what they want to do with crypto. They either needed to come out with regulation years ago or a year ago or prior to this, you know, this court hearing, or they need to just shut up about it.
They're nowhere close because they can't decide what they want. They can't decide what they want.
Well, and so what you're looking for is you hope that this judge agrees with Judge Wiles and says, you know, you can't freeze this forever, waiting for you guys to get this done. If you guys haven't gotten this done already, then you have no reason to object. Well, get out of my courtroom.
They have the right. They have the. I'll give MrFOMO his time. All right. They have the right. They have the right to go after Steve and the team. That's not the issue for fraud. If they feel like there's established fraud, what they want to do is they want to say we can press charges on you giving out the distribution of the crypto. The customers have already bought it and held it for years. If you really had a problem, you should have said something before bankruptcy. I mean, this is asinine to me.
And I'm fine with them saying we would like to still go after Steve. We'd still like to go after the company. that's all well and good. But if their objection is we haven't decided whether this is a security or not, then they can go pound sand. That's the end of it.
Well, you're only hurting customers, and that's what the UCC was trying to present today. Everyone has agreed. No one thinks this is the best thing for anyone. The best thing would have been to avoid bankruptcy and people to have control of their funds, and that's just not the world we live in. So this now is a chance for people to finally get closure. We've been talking about closure since July. Guys, it's now almost April. So, I mean, the DOJ, obviously, either they don't care or they haven't been following the case, because they came in last minute with their objections after the SEC looked like idiots in court. And this is just embarrassing because this is taxpayer money. You're using taxpayer money to keep people away from their investments. It's just, if you want to go after Binance US and say VGX was a security, there's time to do that. But now's not the time, guys. And
well, wasting taxpayer dollars is sort of the government's motto, right? You know, these guys, well, they are wasting taxpayer dollars in order to embarrass themselves, which makes it worse. They've wasted taxpayer dollars to extend this court hearing, basically so the judges could say, yeah, you guys haven't done your job yet.
And it's sad. It's sad that there's zero consideration to customers that are waiting for their funds. That
we'll see. It depends on that judge's decision tomorrow. If the judge decides tomorrow that their argument is garbage,
yeah, let's hope
the judges have both been on our side.
Let's hope the stay is uplifted, because the UCC did tweet that they were taking measures so that if the stay was taken away, they would be aggressive. And to me, that means early April. I could be overspeaking, but
I mean, one thing that you've talked about before was opportunity cost, and I think, you know, I'm no lawyer, but people might have a case when they say, "Hey, these companies have sat on my money. They've kicked this can down the road and kept me from being able to make money back, or make money, period, or spend it on what I needed." There might be a case there for some
against
people.
The SEC and the Department of Justice. I mean,
whoever you want to file it.
No financial advice, but who? Well, I mean, the basis. What do we think about the SEC and Coinbase? I think it's so early. I think the Ripple case will be kind of way more important, because the SEC and the Coinbase is going to take years to solve. Years. Yeah, Simon, we can't wait for this thing to be over. And again, if you're watching the show and you're a Voyager customer and you haven't opted in, you need to do so, because there is a danger. Not only are you last in line to get your crypto back, there is possible, I don't want to scare anyone, some clawback options for the estate for people that don't go in. So just be aware of that, guys. BTC, MrFOMO, really quickly, a nice recovery. Went back to 26 after the Fed announcement, and boom, right back up to 28. Again, my last video, if you haven't watched it, take a look. I said the bets that people were making, crypto million 90 days, just not realistic. But I got to say, you know, I didn't think 40 was a possibility. I may have to rethink that. I still think, you know, 30 is going to happen. And after that, I'd be weary, because I still think we are not in a bull run just yet. But I mean, it is showing some strength.
Well, 15 years ago, BTC was created for exactly this problem. Banks failing, banks taking your money, banks having control of your money, banks doing terrible things with your money. And so this pump makes total sense, right? If you know why Bitcoin was created, then you understand why Bitcoin is surging right now and bank stocks are sinking, because people see that when some necktie has control of your money and they're allowed to do whatever they want with no reservations, they're going to do whatever they want with no reservations. And so the best thing for you is to be able to control your money in a cold wallet. And that's Bitcoin, right? That's Bitcoin and crypto. And so people are waking up to the fact that this is the reason for Bitcoin. This is why we started this 15 years ago. Not us necessarily, but this is why Satoshi Nakamoto got into this, because you can't trust the banks with your money. You can't trust them to do the right thing. They will fail no matter what they say.
Well, and you're trying to go into the future. 15 years, that would put us right in the middle of 2025.
Well, no, this was 15 years ago. That's why he kicked this whole thing off.
Okay, I see
because of the 2008 crisis and the way the banks were
treating our money.
So now this pump, to me, this makes beautiful sense. If you're paying attention to Bitcoin, you understand the reasoning for this pump. People
Great
are saying
point.
banks fail. Bitcoin is the answer. I don't mean to sound like a maxi, but it is what it is.
Well, Simon says, do you think there'll be another crash? I don't think we're going back to 15K. I do think the bottom is in. But again, there's a
Unfortunately,
lot of
I would love to
manipulation.
see it go back to 15K so I
There's a,
could dip some more cash in.
there's a lot of manipulation in crypto. So we're not going straight up yet. There's never been a straight up curve.
It never will.
Having. So I don't know, Simon, there will be, and it depends on what you mean by crash. Like I said, do you consider 22 or 23K a crash? Then
Yeah,
yes.
and
You
what's your
consider 20K a
timeline?
crash, possibly.
What's your timeline for that crash, right? If your timeline is the next 3 or 4 years, yeah, it's going to crash. It's going to crash several times. But if your
I think he's
timeline is
talking
in the
about,
next couple of
I
months,
think he's
the
talking
chances
about
of a
this year,
devastating crash are probably not great.
leading up to the halving next year. I do think there'll be some dips. The yesterday was very temporary, but yes, there'll be some dips on the way up. 100%. We're not going straight up to all-time highs. It's just not realistic.
The
And
best kind of advice you can
long
give
run.
in that respect is to keep some cash on hand, some dry powder, and have it available if we do go into that. And the best way to do that is to take profits when we go through a pump like this. You take off some profits, you set those aside, you've got dry powder available in case we go for a crash. Then you're going to make some more money when you stuff it back in.
Really quickly, Dokkan was arrested. It only took several months, but eventually you're going to have to pay the price. And no one thinks he was 100% innocent. Do I think he was 100% involved? I think there were other actors there. Who knows? Maybe someday Alex and Steve will be next. We can only hope. Really quickly, thoughts on those guys before we end the show?
I'd love to see more people. I'd love to see the guys from 3AC. I'd love to see, more people from Terra Luna. I'd love to see, Alex and Steve, obviously. I'd love to see a lot of people answer for the things that they did, especially during the bull run. And you're seeing that, BitBoy Crypto is under investigation. It goes to show you don't shill rug pulls on your YouTube channel, right? Don't get up there and say this is going to go to the moon.
He apparently was doing things that he wasn't supposed to be doing with some type of witness with a case. So again, I'm not I'm not following or watching his videos anymore. Very popular YouTuber, but there was a hidden agenda there. But guys, stay tuned because tomorrow could hopefully be. We keep saying this, and then we keep having to repeat ourselves. Hopefully tomorrow is a good day, and we can finally be on the end for some closure. Let's cross our fingers. BTC, stay vigilant because it's showing some strength and some tough financial times. So keep it there. Keep it with us. If you could hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so, it would greatly help us out, and we appreciate it. For Mr. FOMO, this is AZcrypto. You guys have a great evening.
We'll see you later.